Up, guys? I hope you're having a great day today. How's it going? I am pumped to do today because it's some of my favorite energies, like major energies in my life, 57 and 51. And we're on fall break, so we've been doing a whole lot of chilling. The things that life has been doing have been so hilarious to me. Like, it has set me up to watch Practical Magic 3 times with 3 sets of people. And it was just so crazy. And none of them were my idea. I never turned it on. And it was like a deep movie from when I was a kid. You know, it has a lot of meaning in my life today. And so I've had some really cool, like mundane opportunities just to, feel myself and be with myself and feel empowered by life, and there's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than feeling empowered by life in your individual alignment. And so I feel like we're at really exciting times. I love when life is talking to me like this. And I feel like I'm so allowed, so much of what has happened to me and my 2018, my mental shattering and all these things. It's like I'm finally at the place where I can just be that and like not be fought by anyone or anything, and it feels so good. And so other sides of life, today's our last soccer game. We're sad, parents are sad, kids are sad, but we made bracelets. I should have brought one to show you. But they're little red soccer bracelets and it's so cute. Some of our team members still have their blue ones from last year and they still wear them to the games and things. And so we really wanted to do that for them again, and we're excited to go pass these out to everyone. Okay, so let's get to the energy as long as I don't have any lipstick on my teeth. The sun is an intuitive insight. So this is gate 57, the gentle, the extraordinary power of clarity. But truly, it's not very gentle. It's, if I were going to say it in regular words, it's the ability to recognize what is true for you now, like within every moment, continuously, ongoing in your life. And it's the gate of intuition. It's a splenic energy. It is awareness. It can be awareness about the future in the now. And so it's a very mystical gate to me. And it connects to so many gates. Like this group of gates is so wild, the integration. It's like 10, 34, 20, and 57. And so there's so many like ways that this can go depending on how you're hooked up, what it looks like in your chart. And it's like Bear has 20, 34. I have 10. We're living with my mom now and she has 57. And so it's just so funny to watch it come together and apart in individuals and people, and to see that survival happening in the now, because that's what intuition is about. If you are present in the now in your life, you will receive everything that you need to live your movie or to survive in a way where you can be yourself and allow and love and accept your life. And so we are moving from the first line to the second line right now. And I didn't know if I wanted to do the first or the second. So I'm going to kind of do like an overview on the gates. And basically, like moving out of the first, maybe we're in a place of moving forward or we're feeling lost in confusion. And so the lines that we're moving into now, the 𝗖𝗁𝗃, realizing proper values and maintaining them. So having some type of realization, realizing what you need to do or how you need to do it, or maybe where something went wrong and being able to take that action. And then the detriment, sweeping dirt under the rug. So maybe not being honest with yourself. Intuition's a scary thing. It's not gentle at all. And when you start to know something new that's true for yourself and you have to act on it and move on it, like that can be a very like warrior like energy. And when we talk about the other side of this, we're going to talk about the warrior because we're looking at 51. And so all of this can be so like scary, shocking. It's fear of tomorrow. So we are afraid of what's going to happen tomorrow. And it's like so much of this specific fear can be projected onto money, financial resources, wealth, the way that we do all of those things, the way that we see people in that light, and it can really control us. When we are stuck in a place of worrying about the future, it's like we are stuck in this little bitty pinhole of life. Like we are running from our past, we're running towards some made up future, and we're not experiencing the eternal now, where all of the infinite information is. Like when you're living in this pinhole, there's no magic, there's no information, there's no wonder, and there's no escape. because the thing that's got you so afraid of tomorrow, you know, it's like this thinking, thinking isn't going to save you from the fear that thinking creates, you know? So it's like a self-fulfilling problem. And what we have to do is start watching the mind instead of letting it convince us that we can go do something out there to get rid of this fear. And so it is having ears to hear. It's the right ear that hears in the now. And because it's afraid of tomorrow, the hearing can be selective. You know, it can choose to not hear or hear at its convenience because it doesn't want you to break whatever fake future it's running towards and whatever fake past it's running away from. Like, it feels secure in the reality that it has built. And so if you are repressing this, maybe you're hesitant, you know, you're repressing your intuition. So you're indecisive and you can't really commit or make a decision. And then on the other end, if you're pushing this out, maybe you're impulsive, like you make quick decisions to try to end the fear. Like, I'm going to go, I know if I just go have this donut, I'll feel so much better. Like, if I just go spend this money or see this person or do this thing. And it's like, it can just push you to trying to just do, and you're running, you know, you're making these quick impulsive decisions. And no matter what, whether you're hesitating or you're impulsive, that goes against the flow. So it's uncomfortable in your life and everyone else's. And, you know, we don't know when we're doing this. Like, this is like subconscious. Nobody knows that they're doing this or they wouldn't do it. Right? It's like we come to see that we're doing this, and then maybe we have the possibility of no longer doing it anymore. And so the feeling inside of us that we feel to go try to solve our fear of the future, it's like we feel uneasiness, like we're trying to create all this security in our external reality and we really can't. And it makes us paranoid, you know, like we can become obsessed with security and protection and all the things that we need to do to get all the things that we think we need. And it's like that can be very exhausting. It can sabotage our ability to survive as ourselves, because instead of being who you are and doing what you do, you're just afraid and you're doing anything that anybody says and you're believing them and you're moving with that and you're making decision. Maybe you can't finish anything. You know, it's like we have to slow down and watch the mind and stop being controlled by it, whether it's the mind inside of us or the mind inside of others. And so this is intuition, infinite information in the now. And to me, it's like trusting life, letting life speak to you and show you what is true in every single moment. And it's like, as soon as you start thinking about it, you can't continue receiving the information that's underneath. So it's like, to be present, you know, you're trusting yourself, you're trusting life and what you receive. It's like you have to be clear enough to receive it all. So like, what does that even mean? This is acoustic, so it's about taking in sound. Okay, so we're taking in this sound and it's like we can receive it or we can think about it. And if we're receiving it, we're like taking that sound in, like the vibration of that sound and the movement and the information, the messages within that sound. We can get deeper information that no one else is having access to, like in that moment, because our body is making sense of it and showing it to us in some type of way because we're clear enough to do that. And that's called intuiting. That's literally being intuitive in the now. The other way is that we're like thinking it, you know, like we're hearing the sounds and we're like thinking it because we can't like receive it and take it in and gain the information that's inside. And so we just like think it and don't receive anything. And then we run out there trying to do things and stop thinking. Like, I don't know, like we're very controlled by all the things that we think we can do. And so we're really not receiving anything in the now about us or our life or what's happening at all. And so why is this not so gentle? It's like penetrating, like a cold wind that penetrates you to the bone. You know, it's like clarity is a double-edged sword. And I like to say that it's a beautiful tragedy. That's what it is. It's like, it's a beautiful tragedy because in clarity, everything is allowed. Everything. Like there's a top and a bottom, there's an end and a beginning of every moment. And that in itself is a beautiful tragedy. It's like living those ends and beginnings, knowing that the past doesn't equal the future, being in a state of not knowing, like that is a beautiful tragedy. Seeing what happens compared to what all the minds think, like it's clarity is such a double-edged sword. It's such a big, like massive weight of an energy to me. So it's so funny that they call it the penetrating wind. It's like the information that you can pick up from the wind. You know, these neutrinos have mass. Like, what does that mean exactly? I think that we're all coming to find out. And so much of the problem here is that the mind hates that we're here to align to life and respond to it. Like, it wants to control it so bad. It thinks it wants what it wants, but it doesn't. Like, your whole system doesn't want what your mind thinks that you want, or what you don't need to do what you think your mind thinks you should do. Like, all of this stuff, it's like underneath those words, underneath those thoughts is the literal awareness to survive. Literally, the ability to know in the now as yourself what you should do. Like, what's happening right now, like gaining real information about who, where, and what. And it's like, this is the maximum amount of choice that we have, to me, because if I'm watching something happen, I can respond to it. If I can't let my reality be real because it's too scary, I can't respond. So it's like the Jewish people, you know, going up against the Holocaust. Some people were able to accept that genocide has happened in history and that it could happen again, and that they wanted to leave, so they did. And others couldn't believe that that could happen. So they couldn't see what was happening now, and they didn't get to respond, and they didn't get to leave. Like, it's like that. It's like that. It is the individual ability to survive in the now. And so that is where we all have to go. We have to stop listening to everybody around us, and we have to get to the ability to receive information from life now. So we have to pay attention. You know, we have to watch the mind think. We have to watch the body feel, instead of losing what we are in all of the matter. And I think it's so funny because, you know, it's like, technically, the mind can't even know what's happening now. Like, and because of that, it can't know what's happening or what will happen in the future. And to me, that's because the mind can't know. Like, it fundamentally isn't made to know. But what I do know about this gate is that the mind is made to see now. And I also know that it can see the future. It just can't know it. You know, it can be shown it, it can see it, it can receive it, it can hear it, and you can know. But that's the opposite of thinking. And so it's such like a conundrum, you know, it's something that you literally can't figure yourself out of by the mind that's trapping you within it. And so all of this intuitive insight, us getting our own personal truth in the now to know what we should do now, it is grounded in shock. It is grounded in the gate 51. And this is a heart gate. And moving from first line to second line, we are going from reference to withdraw. And above the line, it says the ability to respond to disorder and shock through recognition and adaptation. So it's like, if the sun energy is how we know what's happening now, this would be the energy to respond to that shock. And it's like, maybe to simplify it, we could say the ability to adapt to intuition now. So now you know something. Gate 51 would give you the ability to act on it, right? So it's like, it kind of like works together. And it's like, above the line, it says the advantage of previous crisis experience. And this is the second line. Mars, instinctive withdrawal when the power is threatened. This is the _𝗀𝗏. The detriment is rejecting withdrawal and facing defeat. And so I want you to think about it like this. If you are on a dirt bike and you are going to jump a ramp, and you get to that place and there's all these people and it's all exciting, everybody's going to jump the ramp, and you see it and you're like, I can't make this jump, right? It's like, that would be instinctive withdrawal when your power is threatened. Like, the ability to not do it, even if everybody's cheering your name and telling you you can, telling you you should, would, could. And if you just did it like this, it's like, we can back out when we can't clear the jump. We don't have to do that. We don't have to be stupid. And this is so much a gate of competition, courageousness. It's like, it can be foolishness. It's like, you can be the fool that just walks right off the cliff. And so you have to be able to withdraw when it's not right for you. And then on the other side, the detriment, rejecting withdrawal and facing defeat. And it's like, this energy is so much like, do not pass go, do not collect $200. We can back out when we can't clear the jump, or we can stay and listen to the peanut gallery and make decisions based out of fear and scarcity and inferiority and superiority. Like, so much of 51 and this competitive energy is about seeing people on a pedestal, like someone's superior, someone's inferior. You can't hear this person because this person, it's like, it's so much comparison. And to me, like, none of that stuff is even real. And so what we can know is that trust is in the cells of our body or not. Like, we are working with life, or we are working with the mind in my head, the mind in everybody else's. It's like working with life and working with the mind are two different things. And mental decisions cause us to miss right action and right timing. Because mental decisions and acting in them, like, it is dishonoring self in every body. And everybody gets spun into this like shocking, chaotic thing. And so let's talk about shock, like as a frequency. It's so cool. Thunder over thunder. Like the thunder that shocks you out of your sleep at night. It's so much more than a sound. And really, there's not a visual to it. The visual already happened and you slept through the thing. And then you get the sound, and it's like, but even more than the sound, you get the vibration that like moves the bones in your body. It's this shock that just moves all the way through you. And it can be such a rattling, like a rattling of everything that you are, like mind, body, soul, like all of it. And to continue moving through these shocks, it can take a lot. It takes willpower. And the thing that's so hard here is that life is beyond our control. Like, these random events, they can alter our destiny, and that's not up to us. Like, there's nothing that we can do about it. And the shock, as it's rattling us, like, it expects us to put down our whole built reality so that we can receive a new one. And so I have a really good example with this in gymnastics. Like, everyone that I knew that I had a full ride to go to Ball State and be a gymnast. And then I broke my spine, and then everyone that I knew that that wasn't going to happen anymore. And all of a sudden, my whole life was gone. And I lost my whole order and everything that I knew. And I had to let a new order come and show itself to me and kind of like grab onto it, because it's like, you can't do anything about that shock. You just have to be able to respond to it to the best of your ability in the now. And so when this is like in a shadowy energy, it's really agitated because it can't control life, right? Like, it wants to control so bad. And the base of its actions, it's afraid of death, like truly. And this fear of death, like this fear of being inferior, superior, all of this stuff, it's got this person running around like, oh, I could do this and this and this and this and this. And it's like, so much of that can be by looking at someone else. Oh, they're superior. If I just did this, like, I'll do this, boom, you're initiated into a new experience. But who's making your decisions? And are they based out of fear? Are they based out of seeing yourself as worthy and not needing to compare yourself or learn or do anything to be more like that person? Like, you have your own whole path. And when we are doing that, this, running around, looking at all these people, there is a fearlessness that is there, but it's a dangerous fearlessness. It's one that's based in certainty and comparison, and it's not real at all. And it completely lacks respect for life and self. And it can even think that it doesn't. It's like, that's why it's so hard. Like, we have to allow ourselves to see that maybe we were doing these things when these shocks happen or whatever, and just let it be. And just continue one foot in front of the other as the new order gets laid down. And we don't have to blame and shame ourselves for anything that we did or didn't see or did or didn't do. It's like life is beyond our control, and we can surrender to it. And that can feel so good. And so if you're repressing this, this inferior stuff, it's like a self-pity cycle. So you're not going to save yourself. Like, no matter what, there's somebody better, someone who's going to help you, someone who's going to do it. And it's like, you're seeing this person on a pedestal and you can't save yourself because you don't believe in yourself. And the superior, like, these people have these emotional walls. You really can't connect to them. Their behaviors provoke hostility because it seems like they're intimate and it seems like you're in a relationship, but you're really not. And that respect's not there. It's really strange to see. And as we start to see that this pedestal, this comparison thing isn't real, we can know that the only competition is yourself. Like, day by day, in every way, I get better and better. Looking at yourself yesterday, looking at yourself today, like, this is the only thing that's real to me. And when you're acting like that, you create unity. You give everybody the space to be their own authority and come together within that. And when you're not, you create division, and everyone is so like confused. And in that division, everyone is kept down and controlled. Like where that unity empowers people to be who they are and make their own choices. If you feel inferior, you're not going to be who you are, and you're not going to make your own choices. You are looking to be controlled and kept down by that person that you're putting above yourself. And so it's like, we literally can't do that because it's not real, and it changes everything in our life. And so once again, this stuff is subconscious. I have this channel, it's a very mystical channel. It's called the Channel of Initiation. And it's involved in the mystical way, which is a way where you can awaken in the now to seeing as yourself. Ra used to call it the shaman channel a lot, and I really like that. It is mystical and mundane. Like the mundane is the mystical if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And when I say shaman channel, at the base of what shamanism is, I literally think it's removing mental decisions from matter. Like right now, that's what we're doing. We're removing mental decisions from the body. And maybe that has to start with different experiences and processes, but basically we are helping people separate from the matter so that their body can just correct itself. This is what shamans do. And they do it in all kinds of different ways and all kinds of different traditions, but it's just a taking people to self. It's a carrying them into the void and letting them be who they are, and taking off these thoughts, beliefs, ideas, which creates a false sense of security. It's like, it is literally the reason they're afraid, but it's literally also their false sense of security. So you can't take it down. And that's the thing that's keeping them separate. And so to get to that thing, it really requires like life showing them through experience. And it's not about anything that you can say to anybody. It's about them living as themselves so that life can help them in their alignment. And the thing about this is that we have to be tested in the fire of 51, the fire of experience. Like life will give you that experience. And in those experiences, you will build your willpower to try or to walk away. You will build your spirit, you will build your connection with life, knowing that it's not up to us at all, and that you can do what shows up right in front of you. And it's cool because I see this so much in my life. Like when I had just graduated high school and I was coaching track, and my sister was running, and there's this huge like plume of smoke over in the distance. And I'm like, looking at the girls, what could that be? And I look up, I actually heard it first. And I heard running down the bleachers. It was my mom and grandma, because that was our house that was on fire. Our pets were in there. I lost my car, lost my entire art portfolio all the way up to my junior year of college. And it's like they're running down the bleachers bawling. And I'm coaching and they're about to run. And I talk to the coaches. I'm like, I'm going to take them home. I'm going to drop them off. I'll be right back. I'm like giving them a pep talk on the way home. I'm like, we have no idea what's going to come of this. This could be blessings. Of course it's hard, but we can do this. Like if this is happening in our life, then we're ready to do this. And it was just so cool to see how I was ready to respond to that shock and to sit down what it was in order to embrace what it could be right there, right now, like that vibration of thunder that just goes to your bone, and it's like, that is you, like toe to toe, nose to nose with life. And I think that's so beautiful. And it's like when we think about being capable of what's right in front of us, which we are, life prepares us to be capable of meeting that. There are times in your life where it will be right to push forward, but there are times in your life where it will be right to withdraw. And I don't think that any of that is necessarily up to us. And I think it's okay to do both. The thing that we have to know how to do is know what it's time for and honor that within ourselves. So if it's time for me to withdraw, I need to do that despite what everybody says. And if it's time for me to go forward, I need to do that despite what everybody says. And I think that's being healthy within this shock. And it's like, to me, withdrawal has been something that has been totally not up to me. Like in 2018, when my mind shattered, I had such a built life, like a team of 10,000 people. We were promoting CBD. And it was really awesome. And then it was like, boom, my mind shattered and I lost my foundation. I started seeing past lives. I couldn't make eye contact with people. I had to go through this entire thing of integrating my new way of being and learning how to be out in the world like that. And nobody expects anything like that. That was so mystical. And seriously, human design and Ra have helped me so much because he's been able to share stories where people didn't make it through the shock. And from watching myself and seeing how I couldn't make eye contact, I mean, it's like I understand the helplessness that human beings um, live. I understand that once I lose somebody in there, I might not be able to get them back because I can't climb in there and help them come back out. And it's like that in and of itself can be like a very scary, mystical, strange thing. You know, that's why it's so important to me to help people understand what they are. Because as soon as you can be the passenger that you are, I don't think that there's losing yourself in any matter ever again. You know, it's like you can just be in the body and you can see, you can relax, you can respond, and you can honor the life that's happening right in front of you because no one else can. Like everyone thinks they're honoring the life right in front of them, and they're not. They're running away. And it's really crazy to watch. It's like things will literally just be happening for them and they will start running around like chickens with their heads cut off, looking around at people, feeling superior, feeling insuperior, and they think that they're living their life, but they're not. They're sabotaging it. And we have to know like we can't outsmart these natural forces. Like if you would just calm down and let life help you, if you would respond to it and let it lead, um, you don't have to be certain about anything or anyone, you know, like you can be here as yourself and actually enjoy your life, all of it, the beautiful tragedy that it is, full clarity in the now as an individual. So if I have one piece of advice today, please do not sweep your dirt under the rug. Like be honest with yourself, with others, like be vulnerable and open. What can't you share with anyone? I don't understand. What needs to be hidden? What can't be shown? I don't understand. I really don't. And so no sweeping the dirt under the rug. Be proud of who you are, the experiences that life has given you, the way that you've handled them up until now. Um, the only way that you're going to continue is to accept what it's been so that you can continue to move forward through the shocks, through the intuition, and through the changes that we face today. So I love you guys. I will be back on Thursday. Trust life and love yourself. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys.